lovely home, you know, up up north a little bit. We like 30 minutes outside Sacramento, but with no further introduction, you've seen this man. He been on my channel before. So we going live. We finna talk some ish. We finna break down this fight, and we gonna break down some potential fights. Y'all ask for him. He's back. Big Rich is in the building. Rich, what is going on, my brother?
What's going on, my brother? What's happening with your town, man?
Rich, they did us dirty again, man. So we got a decision to make. So they just announced Tank versus Frank Martin, Las Vegas, MGM Grand Arena, June the 15th. And then simultaneously in our hometown of Oakland, California, you got the big three. So we have some decision making to do. It's either Oakland or Vegas, or we really gonna have to do the big three and then jump on the plane. You know I don't like doing last minute flights. So what first of all, what do you think?
I think, well, I mean, we didn't get on the plane and we didn't go to New York. So we still got Canelo, we still got Frank Martin, we still got some fights, ahead of us, you know what I mean? And I just think that it was a blessing that we can, sit here still and watch the fight at the house and talk about these other fights that's coming up.
All right, so let's talk about the main event, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Like, give us your interpretation of the fight. Break down the fight. Who wins the fight and why?
I think it's going to be a good fight. Both of these fighters have history. They're both 3-3. Um, I think I think I seen Bill. He was on the ring. He was testing the ring out the other day. Him and Devin, and it's what's called a slow ring because it has a soft canvas. It's like fighting in cement. You know what I mean? Like sand, like on the beach. You know what I mean? So that favors people that's punchers and not people that like to stick and move. You know what I mean? People that like to run. So Devin is gonna have to challenge this fight. Um, I'm pretty sure he's gonna pull this one off, but it's a good chance that Devin might get knocked down in this fight because of Ryan speed that he has with that hook. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that for both fighters, I break them down. I think Ryan has a chance to win because of the speed. Devin is definitely going to dominate. I think Devin is going to go to the body. He's going to show the things that he learned with Lomachenko with those body shots. And Ryan's already showed that his body don't really hold up well, especially when he got caught in the body with a tank. So I just think that I think Devin is going to surprise Ryan with them body shots, and I think that's going to be the key to the fight for Devin. And I think Devin's going to get surprised too. I mean, I see a knockdown in this fight, all because Devin is normally on his defense, but I think it's going to get a little crazy in there. And in the first couple of rounds, I think it's going to get crazy because it's going to be a lot of emotions going, and there's going to be a lot of Ryan's going to be trying to prove a point. Devin's definitely there to prove a point. Devin's trying to prove that he is the number one fighter in the world, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight. And it's about to come on. It's about to come on. Another hour or so, man. I'm just happy to be here.
All right, so let me ask you this about some of Ryan Garcia's antics that have went into the fight. Me and you've been doing this for a while. Do you ever recall? I know Ricardo Mayorga like smoked a cigarette after he beat Vernon Forrest the first time, but do you see? Have you ever seen this kind of stuff that you've seen with Ryan Garcia? The this crazy talk, the conspiracy theories, the I don't know, the insinuations about Devin Haney been being violated by Diddy. I just want to know. Give us your take.
My take on it is that I think I was at the post. I was at the post conference. I'm not the post. I was at the press conference in LA, and Ryan actually said exactly what's going on with him mentally. He made a statement saying that if you had $100 million, what would you do? He said you probably be on drugs too. You know what I mean? So saying that, that really means that it's really something happened to him after he received that big paycheck from that tank fight, and he's not mentally there. Like money makes you do crazy things, and I think this is what we're saying because if you look at Ryan 2 years ago, he was doing this kind of stuff, but not on this level. You know what I mean? This is like crazy level. You know what I mean? Like he's drinking a fake beer or whether it was a real beer. You know what I mean? After you just miss weight, who misses weight with almost 3.5, almost 4 pounds? Don't nobody in boxing. Like most people miss weight by a pound. You know what I'm saying? Not 4 pounds. You know what I mean? So he's really on some other stuff that I think is gonna backfire on him.
That's weird you brought that up about, having a whole bunch of money because some people gonna say, well, you know what? Bill Gates is a billionaire. Elon Musk is a billionaire. I mean, even Jay-Z is a billionaire. We're gonna leave Kanye West out the equation, but for the most part, these are dudes with limited amounts of money, and they can seem to maintain. Do you just think it's because of where Ryan Garcia came from or his background? You know,
I think it's what it is that I call it the Mike Tyson effect. I mean,
whoa.
Mike Tyson before when he was with Customato and he's been managed by the people that Customato put in place for him. He was pretty steady minded, but when he got that $100 million check, I don't know. Mike Tyson started doing all kinds of things, man. He was buying tigers. I think he was having sex with almost 400 women a week.
Oh, here we go again. Here we go. The Wilt Chamberlain. I've been with 20,000.
Yeah.
I've been with 20,000 hoes,
So
but no kids.
I call it the Mike Tyson effect. So Ryan's going through it, and we're just witnessing it. You know what I mean? Like in real time, because we have social media now. They didn't have social media when Mike Tyson was around. But if they did, we probably would have seen some crazy stuff. Matter of fact, Mike Tyson did a special, and he told us some of the crazy stuff that he did. You know what I mean? So Ryan, we're just able to see his life in real time because of all the followers he has.
Oh, okay. So getting getting to a possible fight. I ain't gonna say it's a possible fight because I think it's still some hurdles that got to be jumped over or kicked through, but or put down. But all right, so Tank announced today, which we all expected that Tank would try to steal a little bit of shine from Devin Haney by announcing that him and Tank and Frank Martin is official for June 15th in Las Vegas, not Houston. And then on the I'm not gonna say on the undercard part of the co-feature, you're gonna have David Benavidez versus Alexander Vasily. So break down those two fights. Start with Tank versus Frank, or Frank versus Tank,
I think
or
I think
Tank Frank.
I think Tank's gonna be in for a pretty good fight. Um, Martin is strong. He's young. I don't think I don't really think he can handle Tank's power, but I think he will outbox Tank for a few rounds. I do see that. You know what I mean? I just see a pretty good fight. I mean, it's a pretty good matchup. I mean, considering Tank is not fighting Devin, or he's not fighting Ryan, or he's not fighting anybody else. I mean, it's a pretty good fight. You know what I mean? And I just think that at least we're getting that. You know what I'm saying? So Frank Martin's going to be a really, really good test for Tank because um, we've never seen Tank in trouble. And the way Frank Martin's been training, he might be in trouble.
So you actually think Frank Martin has a chance versus Tank? I see this as just a typical, Tank opponent, a dude that may have success a couple of rounds, but eventually Tank is going to get to him, and he's going to do what he always do, knock Frank Martin out. I think Tank in all likelihood will stop Frank Martin, or he'll beat the hell out of him eventually. I think Frank Martin will do his best work probably in the early rounds, but I just think this is just a typical Tank opponent. And also, I'm puzzled, Rich. We hear the PBC side talk about Tank only wants to be involved in big fights, and he fights in arenas and he fights dude that had almost the same stature as him. But then you looking at Frank Martin. Frank Martin pretty much, Rich, was a ballroom fighter, a conference fighter. But then these dudes at the same time, they try to demean Devin Haney. They say, well, Devin Haney doesn't sell this amount of tickets and he doesn't do this amount of pay-per-views. And my thing is, okay, so how many tickets did Frank Martin sell for his last fight? And when was the last time Frank Martin was on pay-per-view? So it's kind of like, I want you to make it make sense, if you can.
Well, I mean, if you really want to be honest, now this is no shade on Tank, no shade on Leonard Ellaby or anybody that's in the Mayweather camp. Let's be clear. But in my opinion, Tank resume is almost like a made up resume. I mean, the first 10 fights, he's fighting nobodies. You know what I mean? 10, 12 fights. So it's almost like when I think about Tank, I think about how he says he wants to fight the top, but every time the top was available, he wasn't available. You know what I mean? Even when he was available, it's almost like right now he knows there's a fight between Devin Haney and Ryan. So it's almost like Tank could get on Twitter and be like, "Oh well, I'm ready for them right now." Well, they got to fight right now. You know they got to fight. So to me, it's like a lot of stuff that comes out on that side is cap. And two, he do what the fans want him to do, which is either fight Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying, fight Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying, fight anybody that's like that. Do what Devin did. You know what I'm saying? Strive to be great because we know you're getting the money. That's okay. You get the money. I wanted Ryan to get the money for a few years before he started fighting all these real fighters, right? And he did. But at least he did. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is that this is nothing against Tank. We just want to see you be great. We want to see you do what Devin did. That's all we want to see. Just strive to be great. Fight the best that's out there. And in my opinion, stop at the cap.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Big Rich. Would you find it ironic? Let's just say Devin. We shouldn't reveal this, but I guess we'll be okay. I don't think Bill will be too pissed off at us. Devin doesn't plan on spending much time at 140. His body is going to grow out of 140 eventually too because he hasn't reached his man strength even at 25. So do you think Tank is going to try to wait this out again? Like, let's just say Devin does four fights at 140 and then he moves up to 140, 147, still not being able to secure a Tank fight. Then abruptly Tank says, you know what, I'm moving up to 140 and I'm gonna stay at 140. Do you think something is gonna be kind of questionable about that? Because it seems like Tank may pull something like that because I think he's ran out of excuses. Turkey Al Sheik is gonna start doing fights in the States, starting with Bud August the 3rd. So, Tank can't holler about, well, somebody made him mad and he won 2 Ferraris and all that kind of stuff. So do you think that Tank is going to look really bad if somewhere down the line he doesn't fight? At least try to find some common ground with Devin Haney, at least within the next 2 fights.
I think that, in my opinion, Devin's already outgrown 140. From the looks of it looked like, you know what I'm saying, he had a little bit of hard time making the weight for this fight. You know what I mean? And the way his cheeks were sucked in, Devin, it looks like he's already outgrown this weight because Devin is growing. Devin and Ryan, they're both growing so fast that in a minute they're gonna have to fight at 154. Think about it. Devin last fight when he ballooned back up, he ballooned back up to 165. You know what I mean? The night of the fight. So he already now grown 140. So Tank know that. So as soon as Devin goes to 140, 47, you already know what Tank gonna do. Now it's safe for him to go to 140. And when he goes to 140, then he'll be able to fight the fighters at 140. But he don't want to see Devin for some reason.
Do you think, okay, which fight is more likely to happen? Do you see Tank versus Shakur Stevenson more likely than Tank versus Devin Haney? Do you think Devin Haney poses something in Tank that he doesn't like? Because it appears Tank sees something in Devin that he doesn't like.
And well, I'll break it down. In my opinion, they always talk about the infamous sparring. Well, it's two sets of that sparring. One set, Devin even admitted that, he got his ass whooped, right? But he was 17 years old. You have to remember the whole time, Tank is 4 years older than Devin. So he was way more mature at that weight. And yeah, he kicked that ass. He whooped that ass. But you have to remember one thing. And that's this. The second time they sparred, That's how Bill got the bag, right? So what that means is Tank already know Devin is about that business, and that's at a young age. So imagine how advanced he is now. You got to remember, people don't understand this. Devin learned how to fight a southpaw them 4 fights that he had. 2 with Cambosa, Lomachenko, and Regis. So he knows how to fight a southpaw now. And on top of that, he broke Lomachenko's ribs. That's the reason why Lomachenko couldn't finish the fight in the 12th round. That's the reason why he couldn't finish. Because his ribs was broke.
And he got
That's why he lost the fight.
And Lomachenko, a lot of people don't know, Lomachenko had to go to the hospital. Devin went home after the fight.
Exactly. So Tank sees all of that. And in my opinion, Tank don't want that smoke. He just don't want it. You know what I mean? He will find any excuse. Matter of fact, if Devin announced after this fight that he's going up to 147, Tank will find all kinds of excuses not to fight Devin. Because Devin could clearly just say, Tank, hey, meet me at 147. Or meet me at 145. We won't have to fight for no belt. Whatever. Meet me at 143. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And Tank, he'll have an excuse. Because he don't want to actually fight Devin. And that's just the bottom line. He's afraid of getting outboxed. And Devin is very, very good on his feet. He's long, got them long hands. You know what I mean? He knows how to get out of the way.
All right, so let me ask you this. I mean, the closest clear now. Me and you already knew this was going to happen. All right, so me and you both knew behind the scenes that Bud was going to obliterate Errol Spence. All right, so Bud is moving up to 154. It appears that the fight is going to be officially announced Wednesday. I'm pretty sure, Rich, they sent you your notification to go to New York. Okay. Do you think Bud can become undisputed in the third weight class? And let me ask you this. If Bud becomes undisputed in 3 weight classes, does Bud officially become the GOAT, or is he at least in that conversation?
He's definitely in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that, he's the GOAT yet because he's not finished his career. But in my opinion, Bud has always been the best fighter of this decade. He's always been that. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that Bud is, to me, Bud is like a Shakur times 2 that's bigger than Shakur.
And got power.
And is probably even more intelligent than Floyd Mayweather. And when it comes in that ring. And he's just as accurate as Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? So that's Bud in a nutshell. You know what I mean? So when they do talk about the GOAT, you got to give him his props. That's the reason why. That is the one reason why Canelo don't even want to see Bud. You know what I mean? And that's a huge fight. Because he knows that he's going to get done the same way that Mayweather did it. And that's with intelligence.
So you have Bud beating Canelo.
I have Bud outboxing Canelo.
All right, so Rich, one last question. Speaking of Canelo Alvarez has just came with outlandish demands to possibly fight David Benavidez. Do you think, I've asked several boxers, a lot of them don't think the fight is ever going to happen, but I'm going to ask you, do you think we ever going to get Canelo versus David Benavidez? If so, or if not, why?
If they put the money up to $300 million, he'd have to fight him. But as far as the amount of money that's on the table right now, and I think that's what, $60 million? That's what was said. I think he turned down the offer for $200 million. Now I don't even know. In boxing, most fighters only make $30,000. So to turn down $200 million, to me that's crazy on I don't know how many levels. It's crazy for the simple fact that, you know what I'm saying, you got to understand that $200 million and you already guaranteed the first 4 rounds, those are Canelo rounds. So the judge is automatically going to give him 4 rounds. So he only have to win, 3 more rounds for a win? Come on, man.
Well, he didn't turn, well, he's not going to get he asked for $200 million, but that type of money just ain't out there, because I'm going to tell you right now, who going to pay for that? I don't know who gonna invest 200 billion in Canelo. That's just for
well, wait a minute. Benavidez people came back and said we can't get it right now within the next 2 months, but if you give us 3 or 4 more months, at the end of the year, we can come up with that kind of money.
so Canelo willing. So Samson Boxing is willing to bankrupt themselves just for. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, so Rich, tell everybody how to get in contact with you.
Well, y'all can reach me, you know what I'm saying, Real Boxing Facts. It's Real Boxing Facts. And hashtag, I mean, subscribe to the channel. Share the videos. That's all I can say.
He's everywhere.
I'm everywhere. TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Facebook, you know, just look me up.
And y'all know if y'all want to get in contact with him, all you gotta do is go through me. I can make it happen.
Oh, yeah. For sure. That's my boy Tam.
Oakland's finest, y'all. And we out.
Peace.
That was fun.
ChatGPT taught me how to do it.